off 2 road losses to come in there and get that early lead with Paul Carey's goal?
You know, it was huge tonight. We talked about it this morning, and then we talked about it before the game as well, that we wanted a real good start tonight. You know, we needed some urgency in our game here, and you know, we didn't want to fall 0-3, you know, because then you're fighting uphill battle right off the hop from the get-go. So it was nice to get that early lead, and you know, I thought everybody was focused here to play a good strong home game to start the season.
Good solid overall effort to start a home series like this. What's it mean now that you had a quick turnaround again?
Well, I think that you know, obviously we got Wilkes-Barre coming in tomorrow, so that's going to be you know, first time since Game 7, and they've got a lot of returning players, much like we did. So I'm expecting a real good battle, and you know, it's a rivalry game. So I think our focus here on this weekend, after losing basically, you know, our week last week, you know, in the first week of the season, we're just trying to get back to 500, and you know, they played last night, they played again tonight. So hopefully, you know, we still got some fresh legs left tomorrow, and come play the right way, and we should be in good shape for tomorrow's game as well.
Okay, 5 goals, excuse me. What's it mean to get the offense down like this?
Well, you know, we were a little bit snake bitten in Binghamton last week. You know, I don't think the score indicated, you know, it was a 3-0 game with an empty net, but we had plenty of chances. I thought Drieger certainly stoned some of our offensive players, but you know, anytime we can get some different guys on the score sheet, you know, Carey's been very strong since Game 1, played very well last weekend, was arguably, you know, one of our top 3 players over the course of both games. So it was nice to see him get the first one out of the way, and he's very strong. I thought he could have been our best forward tonight, and we had a number of guys that had good games here. So, you know, I think it's really important for any offensive player to get their goals early, because then they can feel good about themselves. And you know, we need a couple other guys here to get hopefully get on the score sheet tomorrow as well.
When you go as long as you did last season, and you lose a guy like Paul so early on, to have him come back now, does it kind of bring back last year, going, wow, he was this good for us last year? Have him doing this now again for you?
Yeah, absolutely, because you know, January he was gone, you know, but you know, we can't forget that he was on a 30-goal pace. So he was a big part of our team last year, and was a real pleasant surprise after not really knowing the player that well. You know, you play a guy, you know, coach against a guy once, twice a year. It's very hard to judge the player, but he was a big part of our team, and well liked in the locker room. So when he decided it was the best to shut his season down, it was, you know, that's why we ended up making the Ryan Bourque trade. But to have him back here skating real strong, and shoulder feeling better than it ever has, that was real good. And we're going to need a big season from him. I think he complements Stevenson very well right now, and don't mind that line at all.
Your special teams played pretty well tonight. Are you happy with them?
Yeah, and we worked on it 3 times this week. It was one of those situations where, you know, the PK struggled early, especially the 2 preseason games. And I know we didn't have a lot of our players in the lineup, but, you know, Reed Cashman, who's looking after the PK this year, has done a, you know, real hard job, you know, great job here in the last few days with video and working on positioning. And, you know, it was kind of sucked that they got that 1 goal there. But, you know, I always say that, you know, you can kill probably 4 penalties off, but when you get into that 5th, 6th range, and I think they probably had 6 or 7, I haven't seen the final score sheet, but when you start getting into that 5th, 6th range, you're asking for trouble, because the odds are against you that their power play is eventually going to score, and that would happen there. But overall, I thought the PK was strong, especially the PK forecheck. We added Paul Carey to our PK unit here this week, and I thought he did a nice job with Malone, and it was good to see the power play get a goal as well here. So we certainly got the skill set on the power play to make plays, and on paper it looks good, but you got to do the right things, and you've got to get to that blue paint and get inside the dots, you know, to score those ugly goals on the power play, because you know, that's just how power play goals are scored in the NHL and the American League now. We good? Anybody?
Coach, you had a goal by Ness, and Madison had the empty netter at the end. how great is it to kind of get some offensive production from your blue liners?
Well, the systems we play here, it allows our defense to be, very active. And, you can go back to last year, we had a number of defensemen that came out with some real good point totals at the end of the season, and nothing's really changed. We've added Labrie and Dietz to the mix here, and, Juice is out injured, so, they got a chance to play. But, Ness and Bowie are two guys that, had close to 30 points last year, and we need big seasons from those guys. And the three kids from last year, Juice, who will be back shortly, Bowie, and Lewington, they need to have big seasons because now they're in their second year. And we don't have Stanton or Bergdorfer now, so those guys really need to step up and have some consistency in their game, and they're going to have to play some really good two-way hockey for us to have success this year. Well, it's a little different this year. VTech, we got a little bit of taste of what he could bring to the table last year, and we gave him that last start of the season and played very well against Wilkes-Barre. And I thought he was very good. We did not lose the game in Binghamton because of our goaltending. VTech made some big saves, and unfortunately, the guy, at the opposite end of the rink made some great saves too, and it was basically a 2-0 game for him because of the empty netter. But so we were very happy with his start, and we're going to try to groom him just like we did Copley 2 seasons ago, and we'll pick and choose our starts for him. And Scott Murray will continue to work with him on a day-to-day basis, but he's certainly got some upside. And our really only other rookie right now is Williams, and he got a chance to play tonight. Thought he played very well. He's a tremendous skater, and he's coming off a pretty serious wrist injury. That cost him a big chunk of his season last year, but he's got a lot of upside, and I thought for his first AHL game, I thought he fit in very well today. We good? Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.